Why do you fall? It's a question that echoes through every challenge, every setback, and every moment of doubt. Falling is not a sign of failure, it's a testament to effort, courage, and growth. Each stumble carries a lesson, a reminder that progress often comes with pain. Falling is how we learn to rise stronger, wiser, and more determined. It's not about how many times you fall, but about how many times you choose to get back up. So let's embrace our falls because they are the stepping stones to greatness, the fuel for resilience, and the proof of our unwavering spirit. When life knocks you down, it's easy to ask, why me or why now? But falling isn't the enemy. It's a teacher. Each time you stumble, life is trying to show you something you couldn't see before. It's not there to break you, but to shape you. Falling is the process through which we grow, adapt, and learn to rise stronger than before. Without falling, there's no testing ground for your strength, no refining of your character. Think about the journey of a seed. Before it grows into a mighty tree, it must first be buried in the dark, cold soil. That moment of burial feels like the end, but it's actually the beginning. The same applies to us. When we fall, we're not being punished or abandoned. We're being planted. Those dark moments aren't meant to define you, they're meant to prepare you. Setbacks are part of life's rhythm. Nobody escapes them, no matter how strong, smart, or capable they may be. Falling doesn't mean you're weak. It means you dared to step out, to try to move towards something greater. Falling means you had the courage to take a risk, and in that risk lies growth. When you fall, you're forced to confront yourself. You can't hide behind success or pretend everything is perfect. Falling strips away the illusions and brings you face to face with who you really are. It humbles you, but it also strengthens you. It teaches you to take responsibility, to reflect, and to change. Now let's talk about pain, because falling hurts. It's not just physical, it's emotional, mental, and sometimes even spiritual. That pain is real, but it's also necessary. Pain is a signal, a reminder that you're alive, that you're growing. It's through pain that you find your purpose. Without it, you'd never know how far you can go, how much you can endure, or how deeply you can heal. But here's the thing, falling is not the end. It's not a failure unless you refuse to get back up. The ground you fall on is the same ground you'll push off from to rise again. Falling gives you perspective. It shows you where you went wrong, what you can improve, and how you can do better next time. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall countless times, but each fall teaches them balance, coordination, and determination. They don't give up because falling is part of the process. As adults, we often forget that. We see falling as a flaw, but it's not. It's proof that you're trying, that you're moving forward, that you're alive. Every great success story you've ever heard began with a fall. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not the absence of failure, but the willingness to rise after each fall. Falling teaches you resilience. It teaches you to dig deep, to find strength you didn't know you had. Sometimes, falling forces you to slow down, to rethink your approach, or to take a different path. It's life's way of redirecting you towards something better. What feels like a loss in the moment might actually be a gain in disguise. You might not see it right away, but when you look back, you'll realize that fall was the turning point. When you fall, people might judge you, doubt you, or even turn their backs on you. Let them. Their opinions don't define you. What defines you is how you respond. Will you stay down, or will you rise? Falling gives you the chance to prove to yourself and to the world what you're truly made of. So the next time you fall, don't despair. Don't let the pain, the embarrassment, or the disappointment consume you. Instead, ask yourself, what is this fall teaching me? How can I grow from this? Because every fall carries a lesson, a gift, a chance to become better. Remember, the purpose of falling isn't to keep you down. It's to build you up. It's to remind you that life isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And every time you fall, you're one step closer to the person you're meant to be. The journey isn't easy, and it's not supposed to be. But every stumble, every setback, every fall is part of the process. It's part of the story that makes you who you are. So don't fear the fall. Embrace it. Learn from it. And most importantly, rise again. When you fall, it feels like the world stops. The ground comes up fast, and for a moment, all you can feel is the weight of that failure pressing down on you. It's heavy. It's humbling. But if you stop and really look, there's something hidden in that fall, something you can't see when everything is going perfectly. There's a lesson buried in the pain, in the embarrassment, in the disappointment. It's there, waiting for you to uncover it. Failure isn't a dead end, it's a detour. It's life stepping in to redirect you, to teach you what you didn't even know you needed to learn. It forces you to slow down, to reflect, and to grow in ways you couldn't have imagined. That's the first lesson of every fall: humility. Falling reminds you that no matter how strong, smart, or talented you think you are, you're still human, you're still learning. And that's okay. Humility isn't weakness, it's strength in disguise. It's the foundation for real growth. When you fall, you're given the chance to face yourself, your fears, your flaws, your doubts. That's not an easy thing to do, but it's necessary. Because resilience, the kind that gets you through life's toughest moments, is built in the struggle. It's not handed to you. It's forged in the fire of failure. Each time you fall and get back up, you're teaching yourself that you're stronger than you thought. You're proving that no setback, no disappointment can keep you down for long. Resilience isn't about pretending the fall didn't hurt. It's about acknowledging the pain, learning from it, and using it to fuel your comeback. Every fall toughens you up. It sharpens your instincts, strengthens your resolve, and prepares you for the next challenge. Because life will always throw something your way. That's a given. But how you respond, that's where your power lies. And let's talk about strength, because falling doesn't just test your physical or emotional endurance, it tests your spirit. Strength isn't just about holding it together when things are easy. It's about rising when everything in you wants to give up. It's about standing tall after you've been knocked flat. Falling forces you to dig deep, to find that inner strength you didn't even know you had. Think about it: when you succeed, you celebrate, you move on. But when you fail, you stop. You reflect, you question everything. And in those questions, you find answers about who you are, what you're capable of, and what really matters. Those answers don't come from winning, they come from falling. Failure also teaches you perspective. When you're on top, it's easy to take things for granted. But when you fall, you see things differently. You appreciate the climb, the effort, the people who support you along the way. Falling strips away the noise and focuses you on what's real. It reminds you that success isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. Every fall also teaches patience. We live in a world that demands instant results, instant gratification, but real growth takes time. Falling teaches you to slow down, to trust the process, to keep pushing even when progress feels slow. It's not about how fast you get there, it's about the lessons you learn along the way. Falling also builds empathy. When you've been knocked down, you understand what it feels like. You can relate to others who are struggling, and that connection makes you stronger. It makes you kinder. It reminds you that we're all in this together, and sometimes the greatest strength is found in lifting others up. And let's not forget the creativity that comes from falling. When one door closes, you're forced to look for another way. You start thinking outside the box, finding solutions you never would have considered if everything had gone according to plan. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life come not from success, but from failure. The lessons hidden in every fall aren't always obvious right away. Sometimes you don't see them until much later, when you look back and realize that the fall wasn't the end, it was the beginning. It was the spark that lit a fire inside you, the push that got you moving in the right direction. So don't fear falling. Don't let it stop you. Let it teach you. Let it humble you. Let it make you stronger. Because every fall is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to rise higher than you ever thought possible. The ground you fall on today could be the foundation for something incredible tomorrow. You just have to get back up and keep moving forward. When you fall, the world doesn't stop. You might feel like it does, like everything around you is crumbling. But the truth is, falling is not the end. It's a turning point. A setback is not a dead end, it's a detour, a way for you to learn something you wouldn't have known if you hadn't faced that challenge. Life isn't about avoiding failure. It's about learning how to use it as a stepping stone. When you fall, you're not failing, you're growing. We've all faced those moments when things don't go according to plan. You work hard, you put in the effort, and then something happens, an obstacle, a mistake, a misstep, and suddenly you're down. But what happens next? That's where the magic happens. Because the real power doesn't lie in the fall. It lies in how you rise from it. It's how you turn that failure into fuel, how you transform those challenges into opportunities for growth. Think about it, some of the most successful people in history didn't reach the top by avoiding failure. They reached it because they used every fall, every setback, every disappointment as a stepping stone. They understood that failure wasn't something to fear, it was something to embrace. Every fall gives you something valuable: perspective, resilience, wisdom, and those things, my friend, are the building blocks of success. When you fall, you get a chance to reset. You can stop, look around, and reassess your approach. Maybe you were moving too fast, maybe you were heading down the wrong path, or maybe you just needed to learn a lesson the hard way. Whatever the reason, the fall forces you to take a step back, to reflect, and to recalibrate. And that moment of reflection is where the real growth happens. Falling gives you a new perspective. When you're on top, it's easy to think everything's going perfectly. You don't see the cracks, the weaknesses, the things that could be improved. But when you fall, you're forced to look at the bigger picture. You see the flaws you missed before, the areas that need attention, the things that need to change. It's like a reset button, a chance to learn and grow from your mistakes. But it's not just about the lesson you learn from falling, it's about the resilience you build. Every time you get knocked down and find the strength to rise again, you're building a muscle. It's the muscle of perseverance. It's the ability to keep going when things get tough, to push through when the odds are against you. Success isn't just about talent or intelligence, it's about grit. It's about how many times you get back up after you fall. And let's not forget the humility that comes with falling. When you're knocked down, it's easy to feel like you're not good enough, like you're not cut out for the journey ahead. But here's the thing, humility isn't weakness. It's the foundation of real success. Humility allows you to learn from your mistakes, to listen to others, to adjust your approach. It's the quality that keeps you grounded when you're at the top, the quality that reminds you that no one is invincible, no one is immune to failure. When you fall, you're also given the opportunity to dig deep and find out what you're really made of. You discover your true strength when you're pushed to the limit. You realize that you have more inside of you than you ever thought possible. The fall might knock you down, but it doesn't break you. It teaches you how to rise, how to be stronger, how to face the world with more confidence. The key to turning a fall into a stepping stone is to embrace it. Don't run from it. Don't pretend it didn't happen. Acknowledge the pain, learn from it, and then use it to move forward. The greatest victories come not from avoiding failure, but from overcoming it. Every challenge you face, every setback you endure, is another chance to grow, to become better, to move closer to your goal. Falling doesn't mean you're not capable. It means you're trying. It means you're pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. It means you're not afraid to take risks, to fail, and to learn from it. That's how success is built, one fall at a time. Each time you get back up, you're a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more determined. And when you turn those falls into stepping stones, you start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Challenges become your training ground. Setbacks become lessons. The path to success isn't a straight line, it's full of twists, turns, and unexpected detours. But every detour is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to keep moving forward. So the next time you fall, don't see it as a failure. See it as an opportunity. See it as the beginning of something new. The fall is not the end of your journey, it's the start of a new chapter. It's your chance to rise, to learn, to grow, and to move closer to your dreams. Every time you fall, you're one step closer to success. You just have to get back up, learn from the experience, and keep moving forward. Falling is part of the process. It's a reminder that success isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about learning from every fall, every failure, every setback. Because every time you get back up, you're not just moving forward, you're growing stronger. You're building the foundation for success. So don't be afraid to fall. Embrace it. Use it. And let it be the stepping stone that takes you to the next level. Falling is not what defines you. It's what you do after the fall that shows who you truly are. Life is full of moments that will knock you down, some small, some so heavy they take the air right out of your chest. But here's the truth, the real power lies in getting back up. That's where growth happens. That's where strength is built. Falling is not the end, it's the beginning of something greater if you have the courage to rise again. Getting back up isn't easy. It takes grit. It takes determination. It takes heart. But that's what makes it powerful. Each time you rise, you're proving to yourself and to the world that you are stronger than whatever tried to hold you down. It's not about avoiding the fall. It's about refusing to let it keep you there. When you fall, doubt creeps in. It whispers lies, telling you that you're not good enough, not strong enough, not capable enough. But here's the thing, doubt only wins if you let it. Getting back up is your way of silencing that voice. It's your way of saying, I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I'm not done yet. Every time you rise after a fall, you're building resilience. That's the armor that protects you when life gets tough. Resilience doesn't mean you won't feel pain or fear, it means you won't let those feelings stop you. It means you've learned to push through the discomfort, to face the challenges head on, to keep moving forward even when the path feels impossible. Think about it, the greatest stories of triumph, the ones that inspire us, all have one thing in common. They're about people who got back up after being knocked down. They didn't let failure define them. They didn't let setbacks stop them. They embraced the struggle, learned from it, and came back stronger. That's the power of perseverance. It's not just about enduring, it's about growing through what you go through. Getting back up also takes courage. It's easy to stay down, to let fear of failing again keep you from trying. But courage is what pushes you to rise anyway. It's what helps you face the unknown, to step back into the arena even when you're bruised and battered. Courage doesn't mean you're not afraid, it means you move forward despite the fear. When you rise after a fall, you're reclaiming your power. You're refusing to let the fall define your story. You're taking control of your narrative, deciding that this moment of struggle is just a chapter, not the whole book. Getting back up is your way of saying, this is not how my story ends. Rising also teaches you about yourself. It shows you what you're made of. It reveals your strength, your resilience, your determination. Each time you get back up, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. You're discovering the depth of your own courage, the power of your own spirit. But let's be real, getting back up isn't just about you. When you rise, you inspire others. You show them what's possible. You become a living example of perseverance, of courage, of strength. Your story can be the spark that ignites someone else's fire, the light that guides them through their own darkness. And here's the beautiful thing, every time you get back up, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. The fall taught you something. It gave you wisdom, perspective, and insight. It showed you what didn't work, what needs to change, what you're capable of. When you rise, you carry those lessons with you, and they make you stronger. Getting back up also reminds you of your purpose. When you fall, it's easy to lose sight of your goals, to feel overwhelmed by the obstacles in your way. But rising forces you to reconnect with your why. It reminds you of what you're fighting for, what you're working toward. That purpose becomes your anchor, your motivation to keep going. The power of getting back up lies in its simplicity. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never falling. It's about choosing to rise again and again, no matter how many times you've been knocked down. It's about refusing to give up, no matter how hard it gets. That choice, that determination, is what sets you apart. So when you fall, and you will, because everyone does, don't let it break you. Let it build you. Let it strengthen you. Let it teach you. And then rise. Rise with purpose, with courage, with determination. Rise knowing that every fall is just another opportunity to grow, to learn, to become the person you're meant to be. Getting back up isn't just an act of perseverance. It's a declaration. It's a statement to the world, to yourself, to anyone who's ever doubted you, that you're not done yet. You're still in the game. You're still fighting. And no matter how many times you fall, you'll keep rising, because that's who you are. That's the power of getting back. Failure is a word that carries so much weight, doesn't it? For most people, it's tied to fear, disappointment, and even shame. But here's the truth, failure is not the end of the road. It's not a reflection of your worth or your potential. It's simply a part of the journey. If you can change the way you see failure, if you can reframe it in your mind, you'll realize it's not something to fear, it's something to embrace. Falling down doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're incapable. It means you're trying. It means you're pushing yourself, stepping out of your comfort zone, and striving for something greater. Failure is proof that you're in the game, that you're not sitting on the sidelines. And that's a powerful thing. But let's be real, failure hurts. It stings. It can make you question everything about yourself. And that's why it's so important to reframe it, to shift your mindset so that you see failure not as an end, but as a beginning. Because that's exactly what it is. Every time you fall, you're being handed an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become better. Think about it, how do we learn to walk? We fall. Over and over again, and with every fall we adjust. We figure out what works and what doesn't. We build strength, balance, and confidence. Falling is a natural part of that process, not a sign that we're failing. The same is true for everything in life. Every failure is a step toward mastery, a step toward success. Reframing failure starts with letting go of perfection. Too many of us are paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes, of not getting it right the first time. But perfection is a myth. Nobody gets it right all the time. Nobody succeeds without stumbling along the way. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll be free to take risks, to try new things, to stretch yourself in ways you never thought possible. When you reframe failure, you start to see it for what it really is: feedback. Every time you fall, life is giving you information. It's showing you what didn't work, what needs to change, where you need to grow. That feedback is invaluable. It's what helps you course correct, what pushes you to keep improving. Failure also teaches resilience. When you fall and get back up, you've proven to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. You're building the kind of strength that only comes from struggle. And that strength is what will carry you through the toughest moments of your journey. But here's the thing: reframing failure isn't just about bouncing back. It's about leaning in. It's about embracing the fall, the struggle, the discomfort. Because that's where the magic happens. That's where you find out what you're made of. That's where you grow. When you stop fearing failure, you start to see possibilities. You start to take chances, to dream bigger, to go after the things that really matter to you. Because you know that even if you fall, you'll get back up. You know that every failure is just a stepping stone to success. Reframing failure also means letting go of the need for approval. Too often, we let the fear of what others might think keep us from trying, from risking, from falling. But the truth is, other people's opinions don't define you. What defines you is how you respond to failure, how you use it to fuel your growth. When you change the way you see failure, you start to see yourself differently too. You stop seeing yourself as someone who has to get it right all the time. Instead, you see yourself as someone who's willing to try, to learn, to grow. You see yourself as someone who's brave enough to take risks, to face challenges, to keep moving forward no matter what. Failure isn't something to hide from. It's something to lean into. It's a part of the process, a part of the journey. And when you embrace it, when you reframe it in your mind, you take away its power to hold you back. Instead, you use it to propel yourself forward. So the next time you fall, don't see it as a setback. See it as a lesson, as an opportunity, as a step towards something greater. Change your mindset, and you'll change your life.